can it be? Showing up with Tony T, yes, Ramon SEO. To the double T, befuddling these bookies like 1, 2, 3. They tapping out and we cashing out. It's plain to see. The morning scheme is the A-team, Mr. T. And I pity the fools who can't hang. Coming with real game is sort of a freight train. It's been reported bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get situated and listen to the picks. And it goes a little something like this.
Take two. All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from Tony'sPicks.com. I'm Ramon Scott. Welcome to the Morning Steam for Tuesday, January 23rd. We're knee deep in college basketball league play tonight. Also, an NBA card, NHL card as well. I'm currently watching Australian Open action. Dynamite match so far, but Yannick Sinner in control here against Andrei Rublev, the 4 seed, ready to advance maybe here in the third set. He'll take on Djokovic if he were to advance. Some exciting action last night at the Australian Open. I don't know if it topped the action in the NBA last night. What are you guys talking about in the chat right now? How about last night with Joel Embiid scoring 70 points? Made Cat look, nobody even knows about Cat scoring the 62 points after Embiid scored 70 points last night in Philadelphia's 133-123 win over the San Antonio Spurs. Ironically, came 17 years to the day of Kobe's 81-point game against the Raptors. I'll never forget that night watching that game with my old buddy. What a moment that was. But Embiid last night becoming, get this, hard to believe, only the 8th player ever in NBA history to score 70 points. You think of all the points that are scoring nowadays, and yeah, Damian Lillard has done it, but not very many people have crossed that 70-point barrier. And it is the Philadelphia 76ers record. You think about it, Wilt Chamberlain, he only scored 68 with the Sixers. His 100 points, remember, was as a Warrior, a Philadelphia Warrior, the year before they moved to San Francisco. So Joel Embiid, the MVP, did I say it? What a moment last night. He had to come back in the game to score those 11 points. And San Antonio kind of made a little bit of a game of it. Said they might last night in the NBA. But man, what a performance last night. He's the 9th player. 8 others have scored 70 points or more, but Larry Bird didn't score 70. LeBron didn't score 70. Jerry West didn't score. Kareem didn't score 70. None of these guys did. Wilt did a few times, 6 times, scored that many points. But other guys. There's some other guys to do it. Don't forget Spider Mitchell did it as well recently. David Thompson. The Admiral, David Robinson, Elgin Baylor, and Devin Booker also has done it. So a real great night for Joel Embiid. How did you guys fare last night? In the NBA, we had a couple of premium winners, including the over in the Spurs and the Warriors. Boy, if I'd have predicted that, that would have been something. Spurs and 76ers, Philadelphia Warriors, right? We also had a premium winner on the under in the Grizzlies and the Raptors game. We had some winners on the show as well, including the Detroit Pistons last night, getting those points from Milwaukee, Cleveland and Magic over was a winner here on the show. We had the Charlotte Hornets as a show winner. We also had the Celtics as a winner here on the show. And we had the under in the Bulls and the Suns. Let's say hello to some folks. Maybe head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. Staying a little ahead of the weather here myself. So thank you for joining me today. I want to say hello to those of you who are going to stop in and get going with me here with our card NBA, NHL, college basketball today. And we'll see if any news comes out in the NFL coaching ranks. Chargers interviewed Jim Harbaugh again, second round of meetings, but now, the same things with the Chargers, right? Oh, I've got a buyout of $6 to $10 million to the university, and you're going to have a $12 to $15 million salary, and then you want all the player personnel. The Chargers will probably find a way. Look, they already denied Kellen Moore the opportunity to go look at some other coordinator jobs, right? He's got 2 years left on his contract. A lot of teams, give coaches a chance to go look for other jobs, maybe, as a gesture, if you will, but not the Chargers. No, we've got you, and you ain't going anywhere. Maybe it is the right strategy. I mean, you don't want your coaches going off for other jobs, but not as many teams do it like that. So we'll see. News on the NFL front for this weekend. We've seen just a little bit of movement in the line. But story came out about Brock Purdy before the season. They were told Purdy they were going to make the Niners were going to take a run at Tom Brady, and for Purdy to be alerted that he might not have the job coming into the season. And turns out Purdy wasn't objecting necessarily to the move. I mean, it's not his control, but I would think it worked out for the 49ers this season. All right, let's see who is here in the chat. DePaul fired their head coach, probably 10 or 12 games too. Not that they were ever going anywhere. Lakers wanted DeJounte Murray. Doesn't look like that'll happen in a potential trade. All right, who's here? Perky's here to lead us off with the chat today. Perky, open the doors. See if I can get the comments coming here. Say hello to everybody. All right, Perky's here and Gerardo's here today. We've got international soccer action. I'd say the feature today probably going to be more African Cup of Nations as our featured coverage here today. News out of the AFCON of Mo Salah. He's going to be out for a while, suffered a torn hamstring in Egypt's match. So Salah will hit the injured list here for a while on international duty. That's a little bit too bad. Chad here today. Thank you, Chad. Nice to see you. R. Tom's here. Dre as well. He's getting ready for the game certainly this weekend. Chad's got a bunch of his winners on screen here. You guys can read them. There, and might be it for today with the crew. Here's Mike coming in. He's going to roll with some biddy today, and the Bitcoin at a little bit of a low here, 41K or whatever it was last time we looked. Thomas Lewis here today as well, and Gerardo maybe taking camera. Remember the group stage today. The games are at noon Eastern and 3 Eastern as they play the group stage, the final games of the group stage. Certainly at the together. No scoreboard watching. No waiting. Got to play your games. Dominic Charles is here today. He believes the NFL is fixed. It is, and good thing we have the script here at. Just contact me in the Discord. We'll get you all the answers. Victor Jimenez here as well today. Nice to have you. Public Enemy coming to us from Twitter. You can comment on Twitter now. Send me your comments. Doubles is here today. We're representing Team Steam always. And Timmy Chushu as well. And Who else? Yeah, I hope I got them all right. I was going off memory there. Might have missed one or two on those 70 point. But I'm just thinking about nobody scores 70, and we get teams scoring 140 points out here. Kind of crazy. All right. Who else? Jeff Schramm here today. Rich Stubbs, hello. And Justin's got his play tonight. It's going to be the team total over in the UNLV game. Wait a minute. Aren't they playing Air Force? Oh, boy. Okay. You call it, Justin. And Blake stopping in today. Oh, Jay, great to see you. Grab a drink. I'll be here for 2 hours, so we got something to do. But we'll talk hoop early. And Stephen Downey joining us as well. All right, let's see. I'll go over to Tony'sPicks.com and see who did well yesterday. I know I saw Tiffany Mance on top of the handicapper leaderboard yesterday for a great job. And we'll see who did well over on the website and just get our little plug out of the way. I had a pretty good day myself. Let's see who did well yesterday. I'll bring it up. Handicapper leaderboard over at Tony'sPicks.com. Tiffany Mance with a strong performance, 8-1 on the day. Collins Brown, big day for Collins, 5-0. Great job, CB. Hope you're doing well. Ruben Marlboro, come to Marlboro country, went 4-0 on the day. Mark Butterscotch Eubanks, he went 6-2 there for his performance. EPA Sports went 8-4. Of course, they have every side and total. I believe it's just a prognostication. That'll get it done. Use that maybe for your numbers, similar to what we're offering here with our buddy Brad. But you just gotta have some numbers to base it on. That's what you get there with EPA Sports. Every game, I believe. Ron Crawford, 7-3 for a top-notch performance. Two old ladies that bet consensus went 3-0, as did Jerry Lewis. Tim Irwin went 3-0, and there I am with a 4-1 day yesterday. I had some other premium winners, as I mentioned. Two in the NBA came through there. Also on the ice, I had two premium pick winners with the Florida Panthers getting it done 4-1 over the Nashville Predators, and also had the Sharks and the Kings over. Kings lose again. Can't beat the Sharks. That's problems, man. 4-3. It was a shootout, but Kings lose. We get the over on that one as a premium pick winner. Our loser was in the colleges yesterday. Well, Yannick Sinner has just closed out Andre Rublev in straight sets, as it turns out, and it did go under. It was a tight match there throughout. That was the way I was going, Sinner and under, and he gets it done here. 4 and a 5 seed, but Sinner just looking really sharp right now. Gets it done here with the win over Rublev in Melbourne. And action is over at the Aussie Open. All right, for today. Keep taking a look here at my compatriots with Tony T, a perfect 2-0 day. Nick Lagarettos, 4-2. He's been hot. Joseph Schultz won his only play, and Ron Hans on the leaderboard as well. Good to have Ron up there. And Ron Crawford, author of the spreadsheet play of the day. He's on top over the last 7 days with a 39-17 record. Hot Ron and Ruben Marlboro up there, up over 15 units over the last 7 days. Nick Lagarettos, real strong performance of late, 12.5 units. The two old ladies that bet consensus right there at the beautiful mark of 75% over the last 7 days. That's when Mindy Hahn and Tiffany Mance picks are in agreement, and they put them up as their consensus plays. Here's Mark Eubanks for the 41-25 record for Butterscotch. All right, Butterscotch also on top of the monthly leaderboards, up over 30 units so far. He's been a great contribution to the website. Nick Lagaretos up there, 27 and a third unit. Gene got picks. Gene got winners, 25 and a half units over the last 30 days. Ronnie Crawford there. And Tim Irwin with a nice 14 units so far over the last 30 days. And since we've been rolling here in 2024, just have to point out the great start, everyone. It's been 22 days of action, and a lot of handicappers are in the green so far. We'll see who stands the test of time. Hopefully they all do, and show you the quality of picks here at Tony's Picks with these handicappers. Look, Nick Lagaretos, what can you say about his performance here? I mean, he's coming in basically at 76% with 28 units since January 1st. Mark Butterscotch Eubanks, 18 and 2/3 units. Ron Crawford. These are all new handicappers. These next four gentlemen, Ron Crawford, Ruben Marlborough, and Gene got picks up there. Probably Sam Murdy, one of the veterans of the site, as is Joseph Schultz, Mindy Hahn, of course, Tim Irwin. There I am as well. I'm in 10th. I'm doing okay, pretty decent. Up 9 units so far this year. And the two old ladies at Bet Consensus is up there as well. Tony's Picks VIP is in the green as are some of our other handicappers at Tony's Picks. You can get our premium picks by clicking on the All Cappers tab. Find the handicapper of your choice and get signed up. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all premium pick packages, including mine here on Tuesday in the NBA, NHL. Take a look at the numbers here. I think I'm going to be cracking the monthly leaderboard here soon with those consistent results so far. You see my records here in 2023 all over these leaderboards, and we'll do the same in 2024. You see I'm on all the major boards really that you can be on here so far. College basketball up 8 1/4 units. NBA I'm up 4 3/4 units. In NHL I'm up 3.5 units. Over 500, well over 500 in all of those sports so far in 2024. I usually average between 5, 7, 9 plays a day on the weekdays. We get on the weekend, we can get up there to 10, 12, 15 premiums. That's about the way that I roll with my clientele, and hopefully that would work for you as well. Grab my 3-day, my 7-day, my 30-day pass and use that promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20%. It's going to give you free picks up and down here over the next 90 minutes to 2 hours. In all the sports, but to have some extra winners in your pocket. Profit guaranteed if you subscribe to my daily packages, packages, 3-pack, 5-pack, 7-pack. Today probably can get up there to multiple game packs, but you always have a winning experience with those over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use that promo code TonyT at checkout. All right, gang, let's head on over to the web back to the show, the comments, see who's coming in here for our coverage today. Any more comments from you guys? Ray Otachi here today as well. All right. Chad talking about Cat and they lost that game to the Hornets. And yeah, it is. And they just don't come around these parts anymore. They're not too fun. Those groups aren't too fond of me, but that's okay. No ill will here. I mean, I'm all about trying to promote our website and our team. I don't care what they think about me. Anyway, I got a lot of friends, you guys here in the chat, Team Steam, if you will, here. All right. Let's get rolling with the show. It's hard, I'm such an honest character. I think that's what it is. People don't. It's hard to accept honesty sometimes. Maybe I'm just a little too honest. All right, NBA first. I think this college card is hot here today. I would think. But we do want to start with our NBA coverage today. We got some nice games on this card, some interesting games. We'll get rolling here and take a look at some of these matchups here with the Nuggets, those Nuggies, going to take on the Pacers in this one. Pacers certainly some concerns with the personnel coming in here because their star, Tyrese Halliburton, who's been back and forth a little bit with some injury problems here, may need to. This might be the day to take off here. Unfortunately, in a pretty good game with the Nuggets, Halliburton listed as questionable. May want to keep resting that injury here a little bit. Nembhard also questionable for this one for the Nuggets. Porter Jr. is probable, and Aaron Gordon also probable. So the news a little better. Here it looks like on the Nuggets front today. All right, pardon me there. And let's see if you guys got comments going. Let me get into some of my notes and matchups here with the Nuggets and the Pacers. See the Nuggets here favored on the road, -3.5. And the total at has dropped significantly here just over the last couple of hours here. Probably put these lines in about 2.5 to 3 hours ago. So this is definitely an early morning move here to the under in this one. And I'm showing the line now up to 4.5 at most spots. So we're definitely taking action here. Nuggets and under. That feels like people kind of reacting it to the news here that maybe Halliburton might be sitting this one out. I mean, he is an impact scorer no matter how you look at it. Anytime he takes the impact player, not just scorer. I mean, we're talking about a guy who is I don't know, kind of almost a record-setting assist man, the way he's been performing. Denver has won 4 of their last 5 games. They have won 7 straight meetings against the Indiana Pacers. They are just 1-5 against the spread, however, their last 6 games on the road. So sometimes they win, sometimes they don't cover right now when the Nuggets are on the road laying some points. 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams in Indiana have gone over. Of course, these two teams meet just a couple of times every season. For the Indiana Pacers coming in, 24-19, certainly a pretty good team, a pretty good record, but they have lost 2 in a row and been losing a few games here of late, maybe giving a little bit back here. Indiana, though, still 10-3-2 against the spread in their last 15 games. They have gone under in 6 of their last 7 games. They've been an over team, as we know, especially at home most of the season. The contrast here, the Pacers are 15-6 to the over at home, while the Nuggets are just 8-14 to the under on the road. Indiana's lost 4 of their last 5. 12 of the last 17 meetings between these two. I mean, that's almost 9 years of sample size, but they do go over when these two teams have met up. Indiana's won 5 of their last 6 games at home, so maybe they're getting back to a little bit where they're comfortable. Denver, that poor spread record has to stand out a little bit, but this is a pretty good matchup for them, it feels like, personnel-wise. And if you don't have Halliburton, but it's just so tough sometimes. The Nuggets on the road, they just don't play that well. And you look at, like I said, where the Pacers at home, they're a very good, they're a good cover. I didn't mention 12-8-1 against the spread at home. Also 14-10-1 as an underdog are the Pacers. What do you guys have? All right, here comes some chat. Some of the chat, maybe some of the picks. Here we go. All right. Nope, I was a little bit behind here on the chat. Sorry about that. Here we go. Okay. I'm caught up. Here we go. Oh, hello to Peasy. Thank you, my friend, for coming by today. And Rich Stubbs gets to start out, find the plays here. A take with Halliburton out. It's key enough for him. He thinks that the books have not adjusted enough here with Halliburton out of this one. I think we're considering him out now. I mean, I said questionable. I don't know if I've actually seen. Let me fire up the old ticker here to make sure, but feels like he will be out of this game. It looks like some are reporting him out actually right now. Uh, the line service has him as questionable, but Jay Smooth on the Pacers are nonetheless. Rich saying that the books, basically, he's saying that the books have not adjusted enough for Halliburton's absence here today. Rodney Barton's been gambling all night. It's Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. It's what he does. And the chat says he believes maybe Halliburton will play in this one. He says because right, so I would think if he, my position there might be, why wouldn't he play if he didn't play in that last game, the loss to Phoenix? I mean, he has missed basically 5 of the last 6 in the game that he did play against Portland. He had 21 points, played 35 minutes. So I kind of feel that way too. Let me see here. Carlisle indicated Halliburton was out for injury management in that last game. And barring a setback, he would suit up in today's game. But I'm also seeing a report here now that is saying that he will be out. I don't buy that report. I'm kind of with Chad. I believe he was out that one. You come back, you play hard, you get a rest back in 2 days, you come back 4 days later, should be able to go, unless there's something we didn't hear, right? So, if anything, I think the points are starting to look attractive here with Indiana right now. Look, I don't even know if I respect what Rich is saying about without Halliburton, certainly, but remember Denver. To me, look, if Denver want to come out, if this were like, well, let's just say it's the NBA final. I mean, this Nuggets Pacers. I don't know what I can do, but or a key game. And this is a pretty key game. I mean, two very good teams. Like I said, Denver, hey, 14 losses, that's probably a lot for a team like Denver, right? It does seem like they're pacing themselves a little bit, and you go in against a pretty decent team like Indiana, because you would think, right? Uh, Denver's defense is pretty legit when they're ready to play. When they're going to play, when they're in a big game, the way they play, the style too, that type of thing, the way they pace the game, they're well coached. They could have a distinct advantage, but they do seem to kind of take some road games off. And no Jokic against a guy like Miles Turner, it's not the greatest. Jokic every matchup's fine, but I would think he could be subpar in some of his categories, in some of his production today against Turner, and certainly with the Nuggets having key players that are not injured, but uh, a little banged up with Porter and Gordon going up against some, um, you know. All right, anything else for you guys? The Salty's going to go on Denver. Justin, hello, here is look, he just took Pacers plus 5.5 now. So the fact that that one is going up that high, 5 at South Point, 5 at Stations, I don't even mind necessarily without uh, Halliburton because of the type of the way Denver's playing these road games. You got a pretty strong spread team at home against, quite frankly, a weak spread team on the road. Basically, like a 36% spread team on the road. All right. And Jeff says he likes the under. I think doubles is going to take the Pacers here. Chad may even go with an alternate spread. All right. Since we've been on the air here just about 30 minutes ago, there was that movement. You guys talked about it on Indiana. They took those fives, maybe even a 5.5. It went up to 5 at Bet Rivers. And I'm going to do it too. I'm going to take the Pacers tonight, plus the points at home. I can't pass up on this team at this point. The Nuggets just. They just don't seem interested in covering numbers. Even when they win, it seems to be a little bit of an adventure. Widely reported steam did come in on the under. Um, the widely reported steam continued to do well yesterday. I mentioned over the weekend. I mean, it basically was unbeatable. The sharpest of steam moves yesterday still did pretty well. The moves putting together another winning performance. So. Uh, Probably willing to trust the Sharps right now a little bit. They did go under in this game, but that was at 243.5. So I don't know if I'm ready to capitalize on it just yet. Hey, thank you for your contributions on this one. And hello, and everybody, please welcome to the All Star Chat. Cash Action Bets. I've got to like that. He's got Pocket Kings. Appears to be all in. Hope he didn't run into aces, but I like to get a little tricky with my monster pairs. Watch out. And Mike saying, man, look at the biddy down there. All right. I'd agree with Chad there. Maybe I mean, obviously, I would think that is the reason why, and that because Halliburton might not play. And again, remember, we made a lot of fun about, probably shouldn't have at Halliburton's expense. I mean, he missed 5 games. He was injured. I mean, I know it was overly dramatic that we got carted off the court, or we got carried off the court that day, that night, but to miss 5 games or 6 games, whatever it was now. It could be that he still is suffering from some discomfort. 45 minutes was legit. All right, let's move on. I'll take the pace. All right, Knicks and Nets. This is serious today, certainly, with these two. With the Knicks on the road here at Brooklyn and another road favorite. How about it? I mean, who wants it? Maybe you could do it. The Nets are pretty woeful right now. They're up to a 5-point favorite at a lot of outlets already here. 4.5 on screen. It opened as low as 3.5. Continues to move, and this total has dropped here on some pretty big money at 223.5. But not necessarily did it get steamed at all. To my From my observation, yeah, there was some casual steam here and there, both ways actually, but nothing earth shattering that brought up any huge alerts or anything. Knicks and the Nets here. This is the TNT game tonight. Knicks 26-17. The Nets, yeah, they're 17-25 now. Things haven't been looking good at all for the Nets here of late, and this tough skid right now that basically made the, looks like they are what they are. They are what they are, and what we saw early on was just a little bit of good run earlier in the season because the Nets now have been struggling here to win. They've lost 7 of their last 10. I believe, against the spread, including a push in there. They just lost on the road at the Clippers. They are home now after a 3-game road trip to Portland, LA. They played both LA teams. Brooklyn is just 3-15-1 against the spread in their last 19 games. That's against the spread, folks. And 11-14-2 this season as an underdog. So they're not a great favorite, that's for sure. But they're also now starting to not cover as underdogs. They've lost 5 of their last 6. Total's gone over in 8 of the last 12 meetings between these common opponents. And Brooklyn has also gone over in 5 of their last 6 games at home. They're 12-6-2 to the over at home this season. Knicks have been a big time over all season long. They're 24-18 to the over, 7-3 to the over in their last 10, 16-9 to the over as a favorite. Brooklyn has won 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams at the Barclays Center. Should be noted, New York has covered 8 of their last 11 games right now. They've won 9 of their last 11 currently. They have covered 11 of the last 16 games against Brooklyn. Now, these teams play more frequently, so that's just a few seasons of sample size. So Brooklyn had won some games that the Knicks had actually covered in recent memory. Hard to think that Brooklyn would be a favorite in a few games here and there. Brooklyn won the only meeting so far. The Knicks won the only meeting so far here in Brooklyn, 121 to 102, as a 1.5 point favorite back on December the 20th. Mentioned that Brooklyn streak at home. So look, Knicks are 11-5 against the spread last 16, but straight up, the Nets have won 9 of their last 12 meetings between the two teams, including 5 of 6 here. So the Nets haven't been always an underdog in all those games against the Knicks, especially when the Knicks had some ups and downs. And remember, the Nets had a few stars over the last couple of years that made them a better team. So right now, we're not dealing with that situation here. Certainly, Knicks have gone under in 6 of their last 9 games on the road. They've won 3 straight, though, right now, including that win against Toronto, 126 to 100. They didn't cover, laying a big number against the Wizards, but they did cover at home against Houston. Interesting matchup tonight on the TNT game with the struggling Nets, but they're getting points at home. Is it going to be enough for you folks? Let's take a look. See what you guys have in this one with the Knicks and the Nets. All right. See a few more comments on that first game. Thank you, everybody, for that. Here we go. When Chad's ready to roll early. Knicks roll them, but the Nets are dead. Oh, that's too bad for my Nets. Tim Humphrey here today, not taking the Nets. Knicks been on a run, leaning to the over, he says. Thomas Lewis on the Knicks. Salty Knicks laid those points early. R. Tomps on the Knicks. Rich Stubbs, Knicks and under. This is heavy, you guys. Knicks, everybody. Knicks. Nobody wants the Nets today. Here's Jace Move on the Knicks. Boy, I might want to try to find somehow a play on the Nets, but I just can't do it either. I'm not sure I can do it. I mean, I might be just very public-y. It sounds very public-y. Ninja's got the under here. Shout out Razor's here, everybody. Say hello to Razor. And Timmy Two Shoe says, why is it only 4.5? He's got a he says he's kind of saying, you know what? This is a little tricky here for the way he sees it, right? He says, I see it as if the Knicks should be favored by more. And, we could call it 5. Certainly there's plenty of 5s out there, but it's about the same thing, right? Maybe he's saying the Knicks, you'd think they'd be favored by 7 or 8 here on the road the way they're playing. I mean, it should be a big game for Brunson, I would think here. OG can have a good game. Those smaller guys for the Nets don't defend pretty well, but even the Nets could have some success here, I would think, against the Knicks. I don't, I think Cam Johnson here, he coming off, let's see, 9 against the Clippers, 10 against the Lakers, 13. They would need that contribution from Cam, certainly, and they would need DFS to step up as well if they were going to stay in this game. Hartenstein has an injury designation for the Knicks. He's questionable. Pretty clear on the Nets side as far as short-term injuries are concerned. Daryl says, do I like the over? Do I? I may just answer that here in a moment. And Chad says, if you like the Nets, you could just wait on this one. He thinks it's so public-y that it's going to be a run on the bank almost here, if you like the Nets. That's what I feel like, right? I feel like maybe the Nets are going to start to get a few too many points, but this run, this losing run is just pretty epic right now, and the Knicks are, you know, they're actually getting some numbers here and there, right? Mike is having some rum shots for breakfast. How about it? Okay, a few more maybe here. Thurman Hill here today. He's got the Nets to cover this one. Chad says it's the Knicks by 20. All right, gang. I just feel like it's going to be a Knicks time of day here. Really, I'm trying to find any way to possibly take a home dog. If I do, I guess I'd have to lay it up to 5 here at this point. The Knicks, one of the things about the Knicks we've often, you know, complained about a little bit is games like this, but it seems like all of a sudden now they're starting to win these games, and this is such a reasonable number, right? It's not like they're laying the double digits like they were against the Wizards or anything like that. All right, gang. Appreciate that. I'll take the Knicks. I've got to. I mean, I just can't. Even with as much as I like the Nets, it's just been painful of late. They just don't seem to have it going on. Like I said, this is a good card tonight. All these games have a little bit of life to them here with the Pelicans against our red hot Jazz here. The Pelicans, yeah, they're 25 and 18. Easy to think right now if you think about, look at this division, right? I mean, the Northwest division has to be top to bottom the toughest division in the NBA. You'd think, especially with the way the Jazz are playing, the Thunder, right? Everybody but Portland is a pretty decent team here, and in some of the other divisions, you might only be able to go 3 deep. Is this the deepest division, you guys, or am I just too much of a Jazz fan here? The Jazz are getting big time points here from the Pelicans today. Hey, Pelicans, they're deserving favorites at 6.5. The total here 239. No injuries really to report, I don't think, in this one that are going to change the spread here. So going to be able to roll with this matchup between two hot teams. Now the Jazz have had on the road. They don't cover them all. They're just a game under 500, but the Jazz still a strong spread team, 27 and 17 overall. New Orleans also 24 and 18 against the spread. You got two teams that definitely you get your money's worth here with these two. Right now, New Orleans also 13 and 9 against the spread at home. They're coming off a loss here to Phoenix. We joked about New Orleans kind of going back and forth, right, on these games of late. Aren't they going win, loss, win, loss, win, loss? Somebody pointed out in the chat how many, wasn't it New Orleans? The Jazz have covered 7 of their last 8 games. They've just been phenomenal. They did lose to the Thunder 129 to 134. The game they did not cover. They only missed that one by 2 points. So they're in every game, even against the Rockets in the game they lost. Remember, Chad, the comeback 127 to 126. But who got the money there? It was Utah. Jazz, right? They lost by 1 point, getting 2 points in that one. Utah's gone over in 4 of their last 5. They've won 12 of their last 16 games to get to 500 here entering this one. They have covered 6 straight meetings against the New Orleans Pelicans. They've won 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams, and while there were some other members of the Jazz, there's still this team, this organization, right? It seems like a pretty good situation for them. They've covered 4 of their last 5 games on the road. We can't say enough good things about the Utah Jazz. New Orleans, though, they've won 8 of their last 12 games right now. They are also just 12 and 12, however, against the spread as a favorite. They're a team that covers the spread frequently, but as a favorite, just a 500 team. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. New Orleans just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games at home. 14 of the last 19 games between these two teams have gone over. So they traditionally are an over, but of late under every time. 4 of the last 5 meetings under. Long term, over. So usually in those situations, because people, like to look at long term trends, and I'm a long term trend guy, even on those infrequent matchups. In fact, on the infrequent matchups, sometimes the long term trends are more significant because it involves travel, it involves routine, sometimes it involves poor teams and good teams, all that. But in a division series, I kind of favor the short term series if I'm weighing trends, using trends to help in the handicap. Of course, I'm always going to do that. But I think when comparing trends like that, of course, I'm going short term on those. And 6 games in a short-term series is a pretty, actually not a pretty a good sample size, right? Because that's, just the last when you're talking about 2 division opponents, 6 games is basically just the last year or so, year plus. Pardon me on that. Let me get a little bit of tissue. All right, thank you guys. Uh, Maybe this game's giving me the chills. Okay, let's take a look at the Jazz and the Pelicans. Saw Razors picks in there on those other games. Thank you, brother. Hope you're still around, but if not, thank you for your contributions. Very valuable here. Uh, you can get Razors. Razors. Kind of want to promote my guy a little bit, even though he's not part of our team, but pretty easy to get his service and delivered. And uh, I don't want to say it, Razor. I'll pay for your picks anytime, of course, but Razor's so big that he kind of gets into some of those. Uh, he's so big, like there's some services that will like pay for, his picks get out there. I'll just say it, Razor. You'd probably know that. You're big time, brother. And believe me, when I see Razor on my play, I'm stepping it up. All right. But Double says Jazz better at home lately, but strong. Yeah, and usually I think the thing is they're just a lot of times on these road games too. They're getting enough points in a lot of these contests where they don't win. Daryl loves the over in this one, man. Oh my, Daryl, that's unusual. We're always so aligned with our totals, and I thought I was going under here. Let's see. Chad says maybe it's too many points for a full game. The Jazz just keep fighting back when they're down, even, right? Let's see. Fernando here today. Thank you, Fernando. Nice to see you. Mike says, I like the Jazz. Sprinkle the money line, even. The widely reported steam did come in on the Jazz and the under. As I said, the sharpest of moves over the last 3 days have been really, really good. I commented in a thread. There is a thread on a website, Bookmaker Review. I think we could talk about that. I mean, it's a pretty popular website that is not selling picks or anything. It's talks mostly about reviewing books and everything and things like that and legitimate books. But in Bookmaker Review, they do cover widely reported steam every day. And I commented on that. The steam was posted in the Bookmaker Review. I noted in the thread that the widely reported steam on Saturday and Sunday went 16, 1, and 1. You can find a thread on that website, Bookmaker Review, where I did comment on that. So I don't necessarily want to just blow it up here and go, hey, this steam is 16, 1, and 1. But they did post the steam prior to all the games like they do every day. There's a nice man that does it. And I noted in that thread, I said, wow, look at the NBA widely reported steam 16, 1, and 1 Saturday and Sunday. Wasn't on them all. I do. I'm a steam chaser, certainly. That same widely reported steam That's when I say widely reported steam that I'm reporting here on the show, and that you can find that thread, like I said, in the Better Chit Chat on Bookmaker Review. And yesterday, that same steam that went 16-1-1 Saturday and Sunday was 7-4 yesterday. So I think that was pretty good continuation for the biggest moves. And it's just not a person making picks. It's when a steam move, of course, one book moves and all the books follow, or a coordinated move where all the books are moving at one time. The widely reported steam on this game is Utah and the under. All right. Just to clarify that, because I just say it all the time like it's just some term, but I do have some substance behind that when I do say it. Okay. So thanks for that little moment there. Pelicans win, Jazz cover, says Thomas. How about that? I think that's pretty legit in this game. Feels like to me. Timmy Two Shoes got a prop here in this one. Tim Humphrey, Jazz, and the points. Hey, Kong's Clips made it today. Hello, my friend. Great to have you here. He's wearing his Louisville cap today. It's been a rough time for our cards. All right. And Chad's got a strategy for this one. Thank you, my friend. Justin here. He wants the Pelicans first quarter, first half, and full game. Wow. All right. I guess I better just make a pick and move on. I mean, been on this game for quite a while here. It looks like, man, a lot of two-way action from the Sharps. But like I said, that widely reported steam got to be Jose. Hello. And Mike, we got to win so Mike can feed the cats. Dre likes the Pelicans. Cinna figure it out here today. Thank you, my friend. All right, he wants a BC game talked about. I think we can make a note of that. I don't have it on our list, but BC taking on Virginia Tech today. I think I got the best games figured out, but we'll add that one. Thank you. All right, make the pick, Ramon. Can't continue to dilly-dally around in this one. I know that we talked about possibly liking on the total there in this one. I'm probably going to be on the under. Yeah, I've got to take the under in this one with the Jazz and the Pelicans. I'm sure the Jazz can hang in there, but all right. Yeah, thank you, Chad. I knew it had to be some kind of widely reported information if they're going to move. But I'm showing back to a 4.5 a little bit, a total 239, and that feed is always very, very solid, as we know. So, all right, I'll just take the under here now in this one with the Jazz and the Pelicans. All right, they're not all great games today, but we do have the Thunder taking on the Trailblazers. Always interesting with the Thunder, 29-13, one of the best teams in the league, laying big points to the Trailblazers. And, well, Trailblazers, not great against the spread, but they've covered a few big numbers of late. They were able to get the money getting 8 points against those Indiana Pacers a couple of nights ago, but they did come back and got blown out by the Lakers in the following game. So I'll see if we can't talk about this one for a few moments, even with the poor matchup of the day, with Portland coming in here and getting these double digits. Could it interest anybody here in this one? I mean, the Thunder, you think about it, they're just dynamite, pretty much the best team at home at covering spreads, but you're going to have to lay the monster number here if you want to take them tonight. Laying 14, they are 16-5 at home against the spread, 18-8 as a favorite against the number. Oklahoma City's covered 5 of their last 7 games. They've also won 6 of their last 8 overall, covered in 6 straight games at home. They've also covered 5 straight games at home against the Blazers. And these two teams meet a few times, certainly every year. Oklahoma City also under in 8 of their last 12 meetings here, 8 of their last 12 meetings overall against the Blazers, and they've also gone under in 4 of their last 6 games overall. But OKC's been kind of an over team for the most part, especially at home, 12-8-1 to the over at home. Portland, however, has gone under in 5 of their last 7 games. They've lost 8 of 11 right now. Oklahoma City has covered 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Oklahoma City has won 10 straight games against the Portland Trailblazers, and 11. Portland is just 1-11 straight up on the road in their last 12 games. You know, very, very poor offensively. We know it. They're last in so many categories right now, including scoring, field goal percentage, all of that. So, pretty dominant situation for Oklahoma City. Might even be a situation where you might feel comfortable laying it at this point. It's just a matter of, is Oklahoma City motivated to get a blowout victory or not? All right. Kong says, go ahead and lay it. Doubles will lean to the Blazers. And Chad says, just can't do it no matter what. I mean, it just does not feel. It might be like the one team where you actually say, it might be if you were taking, you might take Portland against Denver plus, 17 or something before you'd take them plus 14 against the Thunder, right? It feels like if the Thunder get a chance to blow somebody out, they might just take that opportunity at home. This team is, what do they say? They're feeling themselves. Who uses those terms? I guess I just did. All right. Justin says, didn't cap the game, but have some dignity. Portland. Tim's not putting a dime on him. All right. Fernando. Oh, talking about that other game there. Yeah, 14's a key number because a lot of points. So is 13 and so is 15. They're all key numbers in the NBA. Cine Figured Out says when you're laying these big points. And if I'm going to do it, I'm probably just going to do it. Not going to do it as a premium, I don't think. But feels like I want to lay the points here. All right. Hey, great point here, Chad. Great point with the Portland personnel. It's just like, but where is the, where is the dignity at this point? It's not a great matchup for Brogdon, I wouldn't think. SGA continues to improve defensively, it feels like to me. Also, you know, I don't know, Grant against Lou Dort. That doesn't sound very good either. And the matchups are pretty strong here for SGA. Brogdon, maybe I like him offensively, not necessarily in this matchup, but doesn't feel like he's too strong defensively right now. Yeah, may or may not make a difference. I agree with that. Giddey, though, probably a pretty good matchup for Giddey here against Simons. Simons, what can you say? I mean, this guy's got so much to learn defensively. He might be the worst in the league, it feels like, defensively, as far as, starting, guards at that position. All right, I'll lay 14 because I like the total in this game. I don't think I gave it away. Give me the Thunder. I'll lay 14 points with the Thunder in a blowout. All right. Oh, that tremendous rivalry that gets the blood boiling between the Lakers. It's not, you guys. There's no rivalry between the Lakers. If anything, maybe it is at its peak right now, and it's really not even a significant rivalry, quite frankly, between these two teams. But maybe the Clippers heading on out the door here soon. Getting their own arena here. The Clippers favored pretty big here over the Lakers. They're favored by 9 right now. The total's gone up here, I believe, this morning to 232.5 since I've been on the air here. or maybe a little before that, but totals definitely moved higher. And we'll put maybe we can put the Clippers up to 9. It's 9 everywhere, feels like. So whenever you see a line like that and you start to wonder about what's going to happen with the two big stars today, well, LeBron, he's out of this one with that ankle, if you will. Maybe it's rest, maybe it's an ankle injury, whatever the case may be. But I believe LeBron is reported to be out of this game today, and AD will be questionable or probable, of course, here in this one. So you do have a little bit to deal with here. Also gave Jared Vanderbilt probable, Prince probable, Zubac is still out for the Clippers right now. We'll mention the little bit of buyback on Portland in that other game. It's quickly down to 13.5 here, and the total has dropped to 234. So maybe just take a look at what's going on back there at that other game if you can. Anybody? We'll continue to move on here with the Lakers and the Clippers. But a little bit of a move there going on in that other game that we just finished up. If they could just, we talked for that game like for 10 minutes. If they could just start to release any information they might have when we're talking about, that would help. All right, I'm half kidding. The Lakers are 3-11 against the spread in their last 14 games against the Clippers, who kind of own the series here a little bit. Total's gone for the Lakers over in 13 of their last 20 games. Kind of hard to talk about the Lakers going over on the road all the time like they are right now with this game because not really a road game. Sure, the lights are blue and red, but and the Clippers have fans. I mean, but it's a pretty good split when the Lakers are playing the Clippers. The Clipper fans have the best seats. We know that, but Laker fans have no problem getting some tickets to this one. So just to mention, though, the Lakers have actually won the last two meetings between these two teams this season. The Lakers won 106-103 as the home team, as a 4.5-point dog. They also won 130-125 as the home team. They were actually favored in that one by 3 points. Clippers right now have covered 8 of their last 11 games. They've gone over in 5 of their last 6. The widely reported steam came on the over in this game. That steam that I reported with it is right now on a 17-5-1 run. They also took the Lakers, however, plus those points. Clippers have won 7 straight at the Crypto Arena, for what it's worth there. They've also won 5 of their last 6 games. They've won 6 straight when designated as the home team against the Lakers. So still, like I said, in this building, but the Clippers are the designated home team here. All right, we'll get your comments here, and then we'll move on to some college basketball, and I'll make a pick as well. I'll tell you this right now, talk about that total on the move, man. It really did just get hit here big time to the over once again, now at 233. That's pretty solid too, quite frankly. I don't know. I wanted the over, and I don't know if I can get off of it fast enough to not want to just take it right here on the show right now at 232. If it was, because I'm missing out on 3 points. I kind of want to go over as a premium play, but I don't want to take the. Let's see what you guys have. Maybe you guys can talk me into the side. Oh my gosh, I got a new name in here I want to say hello to. Wow. Yeah, I agree. I know I'm back on that other game, but Chad hit it right on the head there, talking about that other game with Lou Dort as a top 5. Yeah, I think I have him close to that. Maybe a top 7, top 8, but no doubt we're on the same page there, brother. I think it's all. You're either good or you're not, right? Right, my friend? Yep, Lou Dort. For sure. Okay, what are we getting here? We've got Mikey Beto, Kawhi over here. What else? What's Mike saying here? Ham time. I don't know. Dre's on the Clippers. and Chad going with that prop. And here it is. I want to say hello to Kern Schreiber here today. Everybody say hello to Kern Schreiber. And he says, this is funny, right? Because I'm a Clippers fan, of course, as you guys might know. Kern Schreiber might not know, but maybe he's been here a few times and watched. But it's great to have Kern Schreiber commenting in the chat. Clippers they probably have more fans overseas than they do in LA. Of course, this was one of my favorite games of all time, the Clippers and the Lakers, of the memorable game that I just happened to watch. It was one of those specials where, I don't know, this is going back, but CBS used to show NBA games at 11:30 at night, and they would come on tape delay. In the East Coast, the game would, they would come on at 11:30 at night after your late local news. So you ignore the score. And the Clippers one time were playing the Lakers. It was Magic Johnson's first game, and it was on the big Clipper 11:30 at night game. Everybody knows that famous game. Tim says take the points here with the Lakers. And so the Clippers, that was my team. All right. I think we got it here. And of course, yeah, that's the TNT game, Chad says. Thomas on the Clippers here. And we're finally going to work out that trade. Kern Schreiber going to take the Clippers money line. Great job, Kern Schreiber. Sounds like he's a Clippers fan. I want to kind of find a way to take the Clippers here, but might just take the over. It seems like such a solid play, but do kind of like the Clippers. I don't mind the Clippers here. Ray on the Lakers. And doubles. Yeah, it looks like Davis is in there, so I won't trouble you with your pick there on that one. Thomas Lewis, Lakers. Oh my gosh, everybody, please, let's just take a moment. Let's do it for Percent Better, everybody. We've got a new member of Team Steam. His son has arrived. Sounds like a newborn here. Congratulations. 2% better with his newborn. Let's percent better. Yay. All right, you guys. Say congratulations to Percent Better and Mrs. Percent Better as well. Or mom, anyway. We'll just tell her mom if she's out there. Shout out, Mom Percent Better. And, Percent Better, his new son, of course, everyone knows him, Fraction Better. He'll grow up to be a full percent. All right. Congratulations. Okay. Thomas Lewis. Wait a minute. I thought he went Lakers. What's he on? All right. Justin here on the Lakers. And I got to get through the congratulations, but please congratulate him. I don't mind whipping through these comments. All right, I'll just have to take the over here. I'm so elated for Percent Better. Give me the play on the over in this one, in the Lakers and the Clippers game over 200. Call it 233 at this point, it feels like. Better get that up on the screen. After okay, got it, Thomas. Thank you. After the congratulatories from everyone. Hey, just want to mention right now, I did mention taking the Thunder in that game against the Blazers, and maybe we'll just take the graphic off right now and go back and talk about that game. My feel was on the over in that game. I'll just say it right now because I don't know now. I'll have to see how much it moved. Maybe it will still be a premium. And the timing is ironic, but that total in the Portland and Oklahoma City game is, I believe, going to be seeing some movement here to the over. Looks like there's some steam coming in on the over. That's the way I was looking. It was as low as 236. It opened 237.5, went all the way back down. And now it looks like some pushback to the over here. So just want to note that there is some movement there right now, as there is on this Laker game now. I've got to update that, you guys, and I can't give you guys a bad line if I'm going to give out the over because this thing's like up to 234.5 right now in the Lakers and the Clippers game at Bovada. And also Circa, where, Circa's pretty sharp. All right, so big moves on this board right now throughout. Also want to mention the Nuggets game uh, down to 238. That one continues to go down. Denver and Indiana as that news comes out. Let's get to college basketball, you guys. I've picked out some games here today of keen interest on the card, and let's start with it. I've got my big sheet here ready to roll. Get to the college board. And start with Ohio State and Nebraska. Nebraska's going to find themselves a favorite here tonight against the Bucks. They are fun at home, aren't they? Nebraska's up to a 3, maybe even a 3.5 point favorite here, and the total has maybe dropped down a tick to 149. But looks like Nebraska is getting the attention of early bettors here this morning. And why not when you've got the Japanese Steph Curry? Hey, I ain't just saying that. Everyone knows the nickname of the star of the Nebraska core. Well, they've got some other players too, but I mean, he's a fun man to watch. The big fan of Steph Curry, Keisei Tominaga. Of course, I mean, they got other good players on Nebraska with Williams and Mast as well, but Nebraska comes in, having lost 2 of their last 3 and 3 of their last 5 here in conference. They're just 4-4 right now in the Big Ten. Win last game over Northwestern here at home in that one, 75-69. But before that, they lost at Iowa. They lost at Rutgers as well, and the Rutgers game did go overtime. For the Buckeyes, they come in 3-4 right now in conference. This isn't what they were expecting. I don't think they weren't necessarily going to be league champs here in this one. But their team was improved enough that you'd think that if they could just get off to some type of decent start in the Big Ten, they could have a little bit of momentum. Hasn't quite worked out that way. This one's on Peacock, so hopefully you still have your Peacock subscription. That's where the best Big Ten games are found nowadays. Most of them here during the weekday anyway on Peacock. Nebraska here, a 3.5 point favorite. They're 11-8 against the spread this season. 9-4 against the spread at home are the Huskers. Ohio State's been kind of the opposite. They haven't been that good really against the number. 6-12 ATS so far, although just 2-3 against the spread on the road. However, just twice this season have they been underdogs. They're 1-1 in that role. All right, see if we can get your comment. If you have them here, you can almost be ready on if you have like Ken Palm, kind of the uh, thrill score is kind of where I start. Now, I do have, I think, 1 or 2 other games selected that weren't on top of the thrill score. I kind of look through and try to find the conference matchups at the top of the standings in some other leagues, and we'll share a few of those, I think, here today. Ohio State just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. They have, like I said, won 11. Well, they've won 11 of their last 15. They've won 16 of the last 20 meetings against the Huskers, but 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games. I'll mention Ohio State on the road right now. They're no good. They don't win road games at all. In fact, their last 12 natural road games have all been losses. They haven't won. When was the last time they won on the road? And on the true road, not talking tournament action. The last time the Ohio State Buckeyes won on the road was January 1st. of 2023 against the Northwestern Wildcats. So it's been 1 year and 22 days since the Ohio State Buckeyes have won a basketball game on the road. Now they are getting 3.5 points here. Let's give them a little bit of their ability maybe to cover in this one. But man, if you don't win, it was a closely rated game. He could have laid just 2.5 there a little bit. Total's gone under in 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams in Lincoln. Ohio State's also gone under in 4 of their last 5 games overall. Nebraska's been an over team, big time, really. They've gone over in 7 of their last 8. So yeah, a little bit of a dichotomy there that maybe you want to work through if you're looking to play the total in this one. But the series would say under, right? And maybe the series might be more of an indicative spot, especially when you're looking at a total here like 149. What do you guys think? At least I try to give you a little bit of. I know you guys have your own picks and everything, but maybe you don't have maybe all the formulas that you want. Maybe that's why you're watching me. Here, Nebraska took all the action from the Sharps early on. They were steaming this one until it's gotten a little bit too high. I did see some buyback here at BetOnline with the Buckeyes once it reached 4, and some steam did come in on the over, the widely reported steam. However, nothing to report on this. Just give me Nebraska. I'm just going to trust that they'll win and cover here. What do you guys have, if anything? Perky here. Oh, Perky, I'll get your other account there. Sorry about that, brother, but thank you for being here today and with your Padres logo. I love that. I love that. Jeff Schramm likes the over in this one. So Jeff kind of in the camp where, even though these teams always go under, Nebraska going over big time right now. And let's face it, Nebraska's got better scoring here at this point for sure. R. Thompson, Nebraska. Timmy, though, likes the under, right? So if anything, that's pretty serious, right? 8 of 9 meetings in one location between these two programs that are, I'd say they're kind of the same teams year in and year out for the most part. Ohio State and under here for Mike. And let's see. Jeff says he likes Nebraska, but doesn't understand why so many are going with Nebraska. Did I read that right, Jeff? Thomas maybe on Nebraska. Justin on Ohio State. Cash action bets on Ohio State. Kerner, and I was saying Kerner Schreiber's name wrong the whole time, and he left. I was saying Kern Schreiber, and it's Kerner Schreiber. I hope he didn't leave because I was saying his name wrong, and I rarely get the names too wrong. Nebraska here for Perky. And Tim wants the under. All right. And Thomas says, hey, you know what? The money line. Why not the money line? They win every game. Don't even worry about it. It's a reasonable price here on the money line. And this one, they'll just win. $1.70, not terrible. And again, I'm not one that will not say, I'm always going to bet the spread, get that 110. Well, you know what? -4 or -3.5, -110. And -170, it's the same thing, you guys. It's pretty much okay. Maybe there's a little fluctuation. Maybe sometimes we 175, 165, 160, 180, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. So really, if you did it the spread, yeah, you might lose the spread where you'd win the money line, but long term, the pay is the same in a way. So no doubt about it, Thomas. You're right on with that one. You could take the money line and still feel confident at $1.70 getting that return if they just win. So, all right, looks like Jeff on Ohio State. Thanks a lot, you guys. I'll take the Huskers to roll. Remember, as I said, Ohio State on the road have lost 12 straight games dating back to the first of last year. So, That includes all their conference games. That I should note. In fact, it includes like mostly conference games. I think really. Um, they lost to Duke last year on the road in their only non-conference game, and then the other 11 losses were conference games. Other than the Northwestern game, of course, that they won. All right. Continue on here. And yeah, here's one of those games that we need to talk about as we get to the almost the second half of the conference season here for a lot of these teams here, close anyway. And this one's important with Loyola against VCU here in this one. Loyola, they're bad. They're bad. They never went anywhere. So they're on the road here, taking on VCU for Loyola. They're 13-6. VCU, they are 11-7. But I think more importantly in this game is where these teams stand right now in the conference standings heading into this one, because you've got Loyola. These two teams right in the thick of things right now, certainly here in the A10. Loyola Chicago 5-1 currently, VCU 3-2 as they both chase undefeated Dayton and Richmond, both teams at 5-0. Dayton takes on LaSalle tonight in a lopsided game, but one of these two teams, Loyola Chicago on the road, a little bit of a tough game here certainly. VCU 10-8 against the spread. Loyola of Illinois 8-10 against the spread. Not much to discern necessarily between these two as far as spread records this season. But should note in this series, the last meeting was the first meeting, I should say, but also the last meeting back on January 10th. Of course, we know Loyola, a new entrant here to the conference with these two teams, and you have VCU won the first meeting on the road 78-64 as a 3.5 point favorite. VCU got that money in a pretty comfortable win on the road against Loyola Chicago. So that is definitely something interesting to note here in this one. Total at 130, yeah, 137 still looks like the total. There's a 138 at Bovada. I don't think we'll put too much stock into that move necessarily. There was a widely reported steam move that did come in on Loyola of Chicago. Loyola of Chicago's won 7 of their last 8 games straight up right now, and 8 of their last 10. Total's gone over in 5 of their last 7 games on the road. However, 12 of their last 18 games overall have gone under, as Loyola's kind of been more of an under team this season. They are 3-2 to the over on the road. Loyola of Chicago here against VCU. VCU, they've gone over in 7 of their last 8 games at home. 7 of their last 10 overall have gone over as well. VCU's won 7 of their last 9 and gone 6-3 against the spread in those 9 games. So could it be Loyola Chicago, pretty good team? Did they measure them correctly here? And can they close the gap here on VCU? Would be my question after the blowout loss. I would say a blowout loss at home is what they encountered in that first game. They were beat here at home. So get to maybe your comments here, if anything, on this one. R. Tomp says he likes Loyola Chicago, given all the information here in this one. That widely reported steam did come in on him. VCU here, though, for Jeff Schramm. Says, though, any higher, he's going to start to have to look the other way. And it did touch 5.5 before it was bought back. It touched 5.5 at FanDuel and was bought back down all the way to 4.5 here. A couple of interesting moves did come in on the under in this game. So, all right. Thomas says these teams have just about the same record. Okay, Cash Action Bets says Loyola Chicago. I think that's it from the chat. That's going to put some pressure on me to make a call in this very close game. But I'm going to go ahead and try Loyola Chicago to close that gap after they lost the first game by a significant margin. I'll take them to come back here and keep it close in this one. And another one here, real quick, with UAB and Charlotte. Not a top 25 matchup here necessarily in this one, but certainly one worth looking at in this matchup between these two in the American. Because if anything, you got Charlotte here 5-1 right now, tied with Florida Atlantic atop the conference. If anything, this is the Americans like the most exciting conference right now as far as who's going to win it. You got FAU 5-1, Charlotte 5-1, SMU 4-1, North Texas 4-1, South Florida 4-1, and UAB 4-1. So UAB 4-1, Charlotte 5-1 so far in this big conference game. UAB comes in 12-6 overall. Charlotte 11-7 so far this season. Of course, know that these teams, I think, are more balanced than some of the other teams. I don't think they have the big stars necessarily that some of the other teams do in the Atlantic. Of course, Charlotte riding a 5-game winning streak right now, and Lucy Patterson, pretty strong player, certainly. Don't want to slight him a little bit when talking about some of the stars of the league, but a pretty good player for the 49ers. UAB, though, I think just maybe a real balanced team. In fact, they might be one of the most balanced teams in the conference with guys like Vasquez and Gaines and Lindenborg here in this one. All right, we've got some trends that I want to look at, certainly with these two teams. And let's take a look. All right, we mentioned that winning streak currently for Charlotte. Not only are they winning, but they're getting numbers as well. They are 8-1 against the spread at home right now. In some of these games, they beat up on North Texas, the slowest paced team in the country. Didn't bother Charlotte any. They just held them to 44 points. They said you could take your slow pace and we'll just score 56 on you, and easily covered the spread in that one. They did get a push against Rice on the road, but they won the game 81-79, and they also covered on the road on that trip against San Antonio. They had covers at home before that in conference here against Tulsa and FAU. UAB, they've had their moments certainly here of late with a couple of victories now against ECU. They got the number at home. They also covered at home against Tulane. They did get beat up at FAU, but they covered that one against Florida Atlantic, which I'm not going to downplay it because they were getting 15.5 in that one in a 13-point loss. But as we're seeing right now, FAU not covering against anybody. They got pushed to overtime again last time out. So for UAB, they've also won 8 of their last 9 games overall. They come in, red hot. They've also gone 8-2 straight up on the road. That is dating back to last season. They're just 3-2 on the straight up road this season. They were hot last season on the road. They've won 6 of the last 8 trips here into Charlotte. They've also won 8 of the last 11 meetings overall against the 49ers. However, usually UAB's favored in the game, and they don't cover. Charlotte actually has gotten the money in 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams. Charlotte is 4-0-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. They have gone under in 6 of their last 9, despite this series being a bit of an over series. Charlotte mentioning that home streak of 8-1 against the spread this season. It actually is 11-1 dating back to their home games last season. So they continue to just smash at home right now. Last 2 meetings went the way of the Blazers, but they didn't cover the spread. They were favored in those, however, including the matchup here at Charlotte last want to say last March. It was March 4th here, actually. I can see it. 93-91. The Blazers won that one, but they were a 4.5-point favorite. And they also failed last year at UAB in a 76-68 win. Blazers won, but didn't cover 10.5. So usually Blazers favored and they don't cover, but here now Red Hot Charlotte is favored in this one. Wow, interesting game. And glad we took the time here to look at this one. All right. See what you guys have here for UAB and Charlotte, if anything. I kind of maybe caught you by surprise with a couple of these games, but you know how I'm going to roll with a lot of these games. Hey, I know the Sharps are going to be on UAB. My job, I say, is to come on here and tell you who the Sharps are on. You can agree, you can disagree, you can ignore it. I think the Sharps are on UAB here in this game, plus the points. I don't know if it's the best position, but might be getting stronger as the day goes on. Here we go. Let's take a look. See if you guys have anything with the Blazers and the 49ers. Here is Cash Action Bets. Hey, Cash Action Bets. I love the name. I love the avatar, and I hope you make it a point to join me as often as you can. I appreciate your contributions and your picks very much. Again, like a lot of people would like to see the picks from other people to kind of get a gauge. They might like you, they might not like you. Again, don't hate on the trolls. If people don't like your plays, that's good news. Trolls are good news. That means they're watching. And here we got the over for Timmy. Daryl's rolling with a bunch of plays tonight. Looks like he's heading right up to the Midwest a little bit. But he also says UAB, so I'm going to include it here on this one. He likes UAB. And Jeff Schramm maybe going to peek at the total here in this one. Even the total looks tough for me. I kind of want to side with the Sharps and kind of take the Blazers here, but kind of hard to ignore the role that Charlotte has been on, certainly at this point. Covering 11 of the last 12 games at home, that sounds serious. Let's look at some of those, actually. Oh, we did look at them already. Oh. Yeah, Justin says the line is moving to UAB here. Let me see. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, 4.5 I show right now. Maybe even a 4 at Circa. Well, if I'm going to take I'm going to take Charlotte. I'm going to take Charlotte probably. I might want to fade those Sharps. The Sharps are definitely on UAB here in this one. It's going to be hard for me actually not to want to go with the Sharps in a move like this. Let me at least put the right line up there at, I'll call it 4. Here in this, I better go 4.5. Man, I want Charlotte. All right, give me Charlotte here in this one. I think 4.5 is fair and safe. There's not much. I don't think there are any 5s left, but there are plenty of 4s, and I'm always going to put the toughest line on here. I know there's some other shows we look for the best line, and that's fair because please do your shopping. But I want you to feel comfortable when you get to the window, and if I'm going to lay the toughest line, maybe you'll get a shot at the best line. All right. Oh boy, here they come. My cats are hitting the bus here in this one to take on the South Carolina Gamecocks. And what's going to happen here when you've got, let's just call them Kentucky the hottest futures ticket right now. It feels like the Kentucky Wildcats feel like the team that are flying up the polls. Well, I mean, they're already there pretty much, but the Kentucky Wildcats seem to be the flavor of the week or two at this point. It feels like Kentucky just going off at this point. I don't think they've hit the top 10 just yet, but why haven't they? I know they're in some top, certainly, but the metric sites don't seem to like Kentucky. The fans do. Seems like the bettors do as well right now. Kentucky continues to be on the move. Yes, they lost that high-profile game against Texas A&M, but they came back. They just scored 105 points on Georgia to win. They're not, covering a bunch of numbers necessarily right now, but that might be even South Carolina's job to a certain extent, but you have a huge contrast of styles here in this one with South Carolina right now and Coach Paris, the way he does things. In their game against Georgia, they only scored 69 points. So I'm not saying you're going to compare encounters here, but man, Kentucky feels like you can still get them. I want to peek at the futures market here at this point this morning with Kentucky. They feel like the hot team that everyone's starting to talk about a little bit with Coach Cal. You're never going to count them out, right? But maybe guys like Reeves and Wagner, Mitchell, Dillingham, they haven't captivated the attention. I mean, they lost to Kansas in the high-profile game early on this season. They also lost to Wilmington. That's the one that stands out. But they're 4-1 now in conference after the win against Georgia. I mean, that's good enough right now to be just a game behind Auburn. There's no reason why Kentucky will not be right there. Auburn's 5-0, Tennessee 4-1, Alabama 4-1, and Kentucky at 4-1. Kentucky didn't cover that game actually against Georgia. They were a 13.5 point favorite, and they won by 9 in that wild one. But I don't know. I'm getting that feeling those cats are going to rock you, if you know what I mean. You know I'm on. I love Coach Cal. And let's maybe get into this one just a little bit with Kentucky and South Carolina. Kentucky's 3-1 against the spread on the natural road right now. And let's see, got some other good. I know there's some interesting ones on this one. Kentucky, yeah, they've gone over in 5 straight. That's what we need to hit on for sure. The Kentucky overs. South Carolina's won 12 of their last 13 games at home. This is only Kentucky's 4th true road game of the season. Kentucky is 9-1 to the over in their last 10, 14-3 to the over this season. And even though South Carolina is showing a strong tendency right now to some lower scores and to some defense, I think the metric shows more defense than the over-under statistics for the Gamecocks, but they do feel like they are in a contrast here compared to Kentucky. However, 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Kentucky's been going over all the time on the road, and South Carolina will say 4-3 to the over as an underdog. Just the pace is what the problem is here, and then why there's a little bit of the contrast, I think, between the two teams, the way it's being discussed here today. But South Carolina still does rank number, 65 in defensive efficiency here. So that's pretty good for them. They're also 34th in effective field goal percentage and 21st in the country in 2-point field goal percentage. And so those are some pretty good numbers here. But, I mean, we know Kentucky, they're number 4 in offensive efficiency. So number 75 in defensive efficiency. All right. So this is going to be a pretty good game here, obviously. What do you guys have in Kentucky and South Carolina, if I may ask? And all right. Oh my gosh, did I have the spread kind of wrong here at 4? Is it up to 5.5? Oh gosh. Okay, thanks you guys for updating me. I'll update it right now. Kentucky minus 5.5. That feels quite uncomfortable, quite frankly. But I don't know about the total. Doesn't feel uncomfortable. I kind of want to think South Carolina has no choice. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game. All right, you guys. Let me get your comments here in this one. All right, here they are. Okay. Cinna Figure It Out says he's got South Carolina in a money line parlay with Boston College money line. Oh, nice. Justin says, "Who the heck is betting on the Kentucky money line at this point?" And Jeff told me it moved to 5.5. That's what got me moving on that one a little bit. All right. I don't know, you guys. Again, like I said, I mean, to me, money lines are just the same as, when you're laying it, you're laying it. Okay. Kentucky all day for Jeff Schramm. Kentucky first half for Kong's Clips. Yeah, I got the correction there. And let's see who else we got. Oh, thanks, Cash Action Bets. Well, probably lose here in a few minutes as we get close to the start of the other show over there, but appreciate you again big time for coming in here today. I think that's it for you guys on the comments here. I guess got to make. I'm going over. Come on, I'm going over with these two. Again, series has gone over. Yeah, South Carolina starting to show a little more defense. Maybe a little bit of that old South Carolina defense that we remember from the last few years ago. But Coach Paris doing a nice job here in this one. And Justin, I would not. In this game necessarily. I mean, in general, I would not have a problem laying 230 in a straight bet. I also would have no problem taking plus 190 in a straight bet. I would think that anybody who here's the thing that I always right. Taking a big money line, right? If you're going to take a big money line, as many people do, and we all do, we like big money lines. Probably should have a big money line favorite as part of your arsenal to a certain extent. I know it's dangerous, and I would rather lay the points. Sometimes you lay some points and lay some money line for a little bit of leverage. But I totally get your point, and some people will not do it. And I'm always starting with as close to 110 as possible. I think for me, it's only, maybe I'm guilty of a little bit of degenerate action with moneyline parlays on games, small moneyline parlays on games where I'm going to be watching and maybe don't have any action or looking for action. All right. Yeah, so no problem. Yeah. Yeah. Again, okay, great comments. Thank you. I'll take the over in this one. Kentucky and South Carolina. No, we're always going to try to, stick to spreads. We're looking for great value. And yeah, we're going to take more money line dogs for sure. But yeah, in doubles, and I'd say this is one of the most dangerous sports to bet on rising favorites. This is a in UFC, those rising favorites are the worst bets. It feels like to me. Again, we see big favorites score in you, but give the matchmakers, right, some respect. They don't want to. Yeah, I like watching the analysts. I love when they talk about a setup fight for someone or whatnot. But no matchmaker is sending anybody out there necessarily to get hurt, and they're trying to get the best matchups for the most part. I mean, of course, they do have their own favorites, and maybe people you owe favors to give them a shot against a bigger, stronger opponent, a bigger favorite opponent. Great points there by Doubles and by Justin. All right. Got a few more college games here, and we're running long as usual. Let's go to Texas and Oklahoma. Apparently, Oklahoma's favored by 45 points. Well, I guess Texas has all their players on a injured list or something. Let me update that there. It's obviously was 4.5. I don't know where it is now. Let me take a peek at the line. See where we're headed here with this. Hey, never going to go wrong with this matchup, Texas and Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a 5-point favorite, maybe 4.5. Call it 142.5. Boy, this one got steamed big time to the under. Some widely reported steam, mind you. And widely reported steam in the college level is always pretty solid. I mean, again, if you look at those charts or those basically the cut and paste over there, similar to the Steam reports that I put. They're exactly the same, actually, that I put on college basketball in our Discord that come from the Major Line Service. These plays run about 55%, quite frankly. You do have to get them as early as possible. Otherwise, you can pay in a little bit of tax. It's definitely going to cut into your bottom line and make those plays go down to below the 55 percentile. And on the smaller the game, the better the steam is. So this is a big matchup. But I'm talking about the added board games. The steam, the widely reported steam, does get even a little bit stronger and heads towards 57 and 58%. But again, the staler the line, the more the line goes up, the more value that disappears. Similar to this one, where they steamed it here in this one as low as, let me see, I do have it here, 145 down to 142 and a half. I mean, that's going to take a 55% and put it right down to 52, probably, if that. Probably still a pretty decent move here in this game with Texas and Oklahoma. That's the way I was looking. That's why I usually go with kind of a free play on some of these when you kind of miss the boat. They actually hit it at 144, the widely reported steam. Let's talk about this one with Texas here and Oklahoma. Big game in the Big 12, certainly coming in. And got the matchup here between these two. All right, here we go. All right. Today, Texas and Oklahoma. This one is on the big mothership, the regular ESPN. Oklahoma, they've kind of gotten back on track here a little bit with a couple of victories following losses to TCU and Kansas on the road. They're currently 3-2 right now in this big conference. Should we talk about the strength of the Big 12 again? Do we have to talk about it every day? I kind of want to. It's so interesting that this conference is so strong here in this one. This conference in general is so strong. I mean, we talked about it. Oklahoma comes in 15-3 overall, 13-5 for Texas currently, but it's right now Oklahoma, as I said, 3-2, Texas 2-3. So still feel that's how good this conference is. I mean, these two teams are almost in the bottom half of the conference standings at this point. Still a pretty good matchup. Got Oklahoma 8-5 against the spread at home so far this season. Texas is 5-13 against the spread overall. 1-2 against the spread as an underdog. So that's what you'll have to try to determine here between these two, right? Is it enough necessarily here for Texas to finally get a number? Most of their bad work has been as favorites. They're 4-11 against the spread as a favorite, and just 1-2 as an underdog. Nonetheless, a losing proposition against the spread, while Oklahoma's 11-7 against the spread and 8-6 against the spread at home so far. For the Sooners, they are coming off a pair of victories. They also after those two losses I mentioned, they came back and won at home against West Virginia. Then they went on the road to beat Cincinnati 69-65. I had Cincinnati in that one, so maybe Oklahoma could. I have to adjust them a little bit here. For Texas, they have lost two of their last three games, including a home loss to UCF, 77-71 as an 8.5 point favorite. They also beat Baylor at home, 75-73 last out 3 nights ago on Saturday, but they didn't get the money. They didn't get the money in that one as a 2.5 point favorite. They missed it by just a point. All right, see what you got here in this one with Texas and Oklahoma. If you got anything, Tim Humphrey says lay it with the Sooners. All right, maybe cash action bets going under. Timmy says steam to the under. I like the over. That's great. Robert Thompson's on Oklahoma. Jeff Schramm says take Oklahoma now. It's going to go up. And some rough weather there they're talking about. Here's cash action bets on Texas in this one. Texas just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games. Total's gone over in 5 straight for Texas. Texas also has won the last 5 meetings between these two teams. That definitely should be pointed out. They won here at Oklahoma last New Year's Eve, not last New Year's Eve, but New Year's Eve 2022 last season, 70-69 is a 3.5 point favorite. Oklahoma's actually got the money in the last two games, even though Texas was favored last season, I should say. Last season, Oklahoma got the money when Texas won. Oklahoma right now, they've gone under in 6 of their last 9 games, and they've won 12 straight games now at home straight up. 11-0 this year at home straight up. And all right, some widely reported steam did come in on this game here while we were on the air. It did come in on the under at 144.5, as I mentioned, and that's the way I'll look to take it as well. Missed out on some prime value here, it feels like to me. So I'll grab the under in Texas and Oklahoma. Man, the sharps are going crazy in this one. This should be a premium, actually, but maybe just missed out on too many points when it was 145.5. Now down to 142.5. Feels like an under to me. Feels like a big time under, actually. All right, XU going to take on Creighton. And XU here on the road, 8-point dog at Creighton currently. Feels like they could take some action, but it's up to 8.5 at a lot of places, and the total has risen to 150.5. This one has taken some big time action here today for Xavier and Creighton. Game number 645. Not necessarily widely reported steam on this game, just a gradual move to the over here at 150.5. Let's get that graphic back up. When you think about it, that's maybe a little bit. I mean, it's value on the under here for certain, but the sharps have been pushing this one higher. Got to respect the move, quite frankly, in a situation like this, because these two teams, if you look at them on the surface, they're pretty solid under. No, I wouldn't say crushing the under necessarily, but the fact that you do have a little bit of room to work with now at 150.5. Final. See if I can trust this steam, because it is pretty impressive. I'm not overly sold on it. In fact, I don't mind this last move to the under. Let's start to take a look at this one, because you got Creighton. They are 2-8 to the under in their last 10 games. They're 4-6 to the under at home. Xavier 2-4 to the under on the road. It's been Creighton that is the under team, I guess, to say in this series right now. Xavier's actually gone over in 6 of their last 10 games. Xavier's on a 3-game winning streak. Currently, they have wins at home against Georgetown, laying 12. They won by 1. Remember, we were on Georgetown in that one for a premium. They did beat Butler at home by 14 as a 5.5-point favorite. They also won at Providence as a 2-point dog, 85-65 for that, losing conference games to tough teams, Connecticut and Villanova. Creighton comes in with a record of 14-4. They're 10-8 against the spread overall right now. For Creighton, they come in just 3-6 against the spread in their last 9 games, but they have been on a little bit of a run, especially at home, 9-1 straight up in their last 10 home games. They've won 5 of their last 6 overall. That loss also to Connecticut. They only scored 48 points against the Huskies on the road as a 6-point dog. Also, some of these other games at home, they've been laying too many points and they haven't covered. Against St. John's, they were laying 6.5. They only won by 1. Even against Providence, they were laying 11 and they won by 9. Now, they did smash DePaul, but DePaul feels like the worst team around. At this point, 11 of the last 15 meetings between these two teams have gone under, including 5 of the last 6 meetings here at Creighton. And Creighton's been going under in these conference games, it feels like, for sure. They did go over against Seton Hall, but they went under against Connecticut, under against St. John's, under against DePaul, under against Providence. Meanwhile, Xavier's on an over streak. Xavier's gone over in 4 of their last 5, including the game against Georgetown, the game against Butler, the game 4 straight over, actually. A game against Providence over, and the game against Connecticut went over. Xavier's gone 5-2 against the spread in their last 7 meetings against Creighton, and won 5 of the last 6 meetings against Creighton. Xavier 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games on the road. As I said, pretty deep. One of those was a loss. Let me see if I got that right. I just read it to you right now. Well, nonetheless, let's just take it as if Xavier showing a little bit of road success against the spread. I think that's what I feel about it right now. Let's get your comments before I say anything that's wrong. Thank you, Mike, for these rankings that you're giving us. Creighton over here for our Tomps. Okay. Lay it with Creighton says cash action bets. Cogs Clip says, hey, you remember the Red River rivalry? These basketball players don't forget. Talking about that other game we were talking about. All right. I'll make the call here in the Big East with Xavier and Creighton. Just note right now, current standings in the Big East currently should be noted here. That still Connecticut 7-1, Creighton 5-3 coming into this one. Xavier at 4-3. Important game for these two teams. Got Shireman. Okay, let's see here. I've got the play. Man, it feels like I want to kind of start this buyback now and take this under. It feels like to me, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go under in this one with Creighton and Xavier. I think one thing that I do like, about the series, is the series between these two, 11 and 15 in this series, having gone under. You look at the last meetings between these two last year. Tim Humphrey says, give me Xavier. Okay. Last year the games went for 142 and 151. That one did go over, and that was the game here at Creighton. I'm still gonna it actually went under, by the way. It was 158 was the total, so I'll take the under in this one. Now that I've got 3 points. One more, and it's an interesting one, certainly here. I got one more after that by request, but I've got the game right below that Boston College Virginia Tech game that we'll take a peek at, despite losing our request game yesterday. Here's Houston and BYU, with Houston on the road as a 3-point favorite in this one, with such an interesting matchup, right? Especially with the total at 135. The widely reported steam did come in on the over in this game, and it's currently up to about 135. Houston might be down to a 2.5-point favorite at some spots. Let me take a peek at that. And this total is seeing action right now, up to 135.5. You look at the numbers on the you look at Houston. I mean, they're always going to be that under team. Remember, we've talked about them. I think we preview Houston every time because they are so interesting. They've gone under in 5 straight games on the road. You think of Houston, where do they have those crazy low scoring, besides every game, but are they more on the road? Does it affect them? At home, does it affect them? They've gone under in 13 of their 18 games so far this season, but it is on they're 2-4 to the under on the road right now, but did have an under game last year. Let me make sure that some might be on the true road. I will trust my numbers over the website. So let's just roll here with some of these games for Houston on the road, especially of late, where they went under against TCU in a loss. Remember, they lost that one. That was part of those back-to-back road losses for Houston that cost them kind of their top spot for a certain extent. The metric sites still have Houston number one, following wins over Texas Tech and UCF, but they did recently lose their first two games of the season on the road to Iowa State and TCU. BYU's 12-6 against the spread, including 10-2 against the spread at home. BYU, a top 10 team in many metrics right now, including their strong overall record, but they have lost 3 of their last 5 games right now, losing at Texas Tech. They lost at Baylor. They lost at home against Cincinnati. And in the game against UCF on the road, they failed to cover. So they've actually failed to cover in 4 of their last 5 games right now, despite winning the 14 of 18 games this season and the 11-1 record, or 10-2 record at home, whichever it is here. But nonetheless, for Houston, they come in having gone under in 7 of their, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to stop commenting so much. Maybe I've missed the boat a little bit on some of these Houston totals. I mean, we've been rolling with them for sure on these unders. I mean, they're 5-13 of the under. BYU, you think of it, and they do have some high scores, but overall, they are just 7-11 to the under overall. And these two teams are new to the conference, so they haven't really met. They've met before, but not for 4 or 5 years here. I don't know if it's much significance necessarily. The widely reported steam, it came in on the over. So take that for what it's worth here. I'm not sure I trust it. I mean, if Houston, presents itself as trying to be even more discerning of a pace, more their pace on the road, I feel like that's the way that I necessarily would want to go under in this game. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to kind of balk at this move here a little bit and take under. Figure Houston is still going to try to force that slow situation here. Bet cash action bets on BYU, and that's the only pick. So I guess that's it for our college picks for today. And we got to go to NHL, man. There's like a lot of games here, and I'm already almost 2 hours into the show. We are 2 hours into the show. Let's go. This NHL card is huge. Oh my gosh. Let's get rolling on it. The Stars are at the Red Wings today with the Stars on the road, $1.35. We'll fire up the goalies and see what's going on. But I think Lion is in this game for sure. I think he was listed as likely in the morning skate. So let's consider Lion in goal here for the Detroit Red Wings today. And take a look at these, man. We might roll through these pretty quick, it feels like right now. Get caught up here in this one and take a look at the goalies. Oh. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Alex Lyon, he's likely to be the starting goalie. He was in the starter's crease. He stopped 27 of 28 shots last time out in that 2-1 win over Tampa Bay. So they're going to have him back in here today. And look, Lyon's gone 7-2-1 in his last 10 starts and allowed 3 goals or fewer in all but one of those games. And he's got a 92% save percentage here coming into this one. I think Red Wings here as a home dog certainly look a little bit interesting here to me. You have Detroit having won 4 of their last 5 games overall, and they have lost 4 of their last 5 games against Dallas. Detroit's gone under in 6 of their last 7 games currently, but 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two have gone over. Fair enough. Dallas has gone over in 13 of their last 20 games. And like I said, they've been dominating this series against Detroit. Dallas has won 6 straight meetings against Detroit. They've gone under in 5 of their last 7 games on the road, despite that total over trend this season in general for Dallas. But that's mostly at home. On the road, they're under 10 overs and 12 unders on the road. And Dallas has won 4 of the last 6 meetings here in Detroit. So I don't know, though. I might want to take a little plus money here and try my hand with the Red Wings, even with the poor series history against the Stars here. What say chat? Oh, Pearl of Wisdom. We've got a legend here in the chat. Pearl of Wisdom stopping by today. Nice to see you. Hey, Tim Humphrey, thank you. Take care. Gotcha. Cash action bet here. Cash action bets here on Detroit. R. Thompson is on the Red Wings here today. And I think doubles went with the money line. Oh, Senna figured it out. We're going to do it. I'm sorry. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. Going to go at the end. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Senna. Oh, man, I blew that one. I got to continue on with this. Don't let me forget, please. I'm sorry. Oh, I'll just say it, right? I'll just give the play. I would have previewed it. I don't want to mix it up too much. That's my bad. My bad, brother. Shouldn't have got started here. I'm going to be on the under in the Boston College game. I'll leave it to you to take the side. I would need to read my selections off on there, but I'm going to try to come back to it. But if you have to go, I'm on the under as my show play here. Boston College and Virginia Tech. Looks like it's going down. Was this 149.5? What's it down to now? Even lower than that. Sorry, my friend. You are so good to us. And I left you hanging there just not 3 minutes after I said, don't forget about it. That totals down to 148.5 at Bovada. So that one continues to go lower. I like the under. Okay, let me continue on with this hockey. Oh, gosh, I feel bad in that one. Okay, continuing on, though, here with the Red Wings. Look, they are just fine, it feels like to me, at home. They've been playing pretty well. They have 24 wins and Dallas 27 wins. So I understand Dallas is playing great, but this has been pretty terrific with what's been going on with Detroit. So I'm just going to grab Detroit here, plus money today against the Stars. Give me the Red Wings at home. And maybe we're going to move a little quickly here on hockey, but still a good games today, including this one. The Lightning coming in certainly against the Flyers, going to be a pretty good game. Both teams 24 win or Lightning 24 wins. Philadelphia with 25 wins, and Philadelphia maybe a slight favorite, but there are some sites that have Tampa as a favorite in this one, so I'm going to just call it a pick 'em right now. And the total here is at 6 under 25 currently. I'm showing some 6s out there. Bovada has it 6 over 17. So this one looks like it continues to move lower a little bit. And why not? I would think between these two teams, a little bit shade to the under. I would think between these two, you've got Philadelphia has been a massive under team of late. They've gone under in 8 of their last 10. They've gone 20 and 27 to the under this season. Have the Flyers, and for Tampa Bay, they've gone 10 and 14 to the under on the road. So with this game as a pick 'em, I'm not sure I can even figure out who I'm going to take on the side necessarily. I would think, though, Philadelphia at home, the way they've been playing, they are 5-2 right now in their last 7 games. This series has been owned by Tampa Bay. Make no mistake. They have been controlling this series for the most part. They've won 7 straight meetings here in Philadelphia. Tampa Bay's come in and beat them in 7 straight. Now, Philadelphia did win a meeting back in 2022 at Tampa Bay, 3-2. This is first meeting of the season, though, between these two teams in the East. So we're going to see more from these two for sure coming up. Total's gone over in 12 of the last 17 meetings between these two teams. Tampa Bay's won 5 of their last 6 currently. That loss was to Detroit on the road, 2-1 a couple of nights ago. Before that, they had a winning streak of 5 games, including wins over Buffalo on the road, Minnesota at home, Anaheim at home, and New Jersey at home. Both teams playing pretty well, but Tampa Bay 9-13 on the road. Not only have they won the games here, they've won 12 of the last 14 meetings overall, but Philadelphia was much worse, and Tampa probably was a little better over the last few seasons. But right now, the way Tampa is playing, I mean, it feels like they're kind of getting back into that Tampa form a little bit. They've got Vasilevsky in there against Connor Hart today. I'm pretty sure we see that Connor. Let's see. No, correction. Urson is confirmed to be the goalie here. Actually, today we got news of that here within the last 60 to 70 minutes. So right now, it feels like Urson is the man when it comes to the Flyers. Even maybe he's overtaking Hart, given some of his numbers lately. He'll get his third start in the last 4 games for the Flyers. He did allow 4 goals on 33 shots in the loss to Ottawa in the last game. Philadelphia, of course, has lost 2 straight. Before that, they lost to Colorado. But I'm going to grab them here today at home against the Lightning. Just feel like they're up some pretty good units at home for sure. Let me see what the thought I had some of those numbers anyway, but they've been much stronger at home. 25 or let's see, 11-10. But again, they've been a bit of a dog in some of those games. I think at a pick 'em is a pretty reasonable price here. All right, and look, Pearl of Wisdom. Right, here's a funny thing. Pearl of Wisdom. It's so good to have Pearl of Wisdom here for some of these hockey. We really could use you, my friend. We got some great guys in here, but really could use you. You got the 4 of 6 here, and the younger legs of Philly. I mean, how long has it been since we've been able to kind of say that, right? Against a lot of teams here. All right, Jeff going over here. You know what? I think on that, Jeff, that is interesting because looking at the total here, mostly at, like I said, mostly at juice down 6.5s, but there is some 6 overs. And for me in general, these guys do kind of play to the under a little bit. Great point here. Looks like an over here for our Toms, but an under for Mike. And again, these two guys can probably find their best price. I mean, not the best price. You're laying juice on the over, you're laying juice on the under. Because you're probably going to go down to 6. You might go 6, but you should have those options. I think if I crashed here? No. Okay. Having trouble bringing up the comments here. It makes me think that I've crashed, actually, you guys. Let me know in the chat, please. This is what's happened a couple times over the last few days. I can't bring up the comments fast, and what happened is I'm off the air. Okay, I think we're fine. I think it's working. I feel like it's working. Give me the Flyers in this one. Maybe I'm on home dogs here today. I like, Flyers aren't quite a dog, but okay, let's keep it moving here with the Senators and the Canadians. Well, I don't know. Maybe I find a spot to take my Canadians finally here against Ottawa. Ottawa did look good, and obviously I just mentioned in the game against Philadelphia, but Montreal at home getting some points against a team they've had some okay results certainly against Ottawa here. They won 2 of the last 3 meetings, 2 of the 3 meetings so far between the two. Ottawa did win 6-2 here just a few days ago, right? 5 days ago, 6-2 at Ottawa, I should say. It was 6-2. Ottawa beat up the Canadians, but I would think the Canadians come back here at home and exact some revenge on them here. These teams have been going under, certainly. of late, but for the most part, they've been over teams this season. I think that kind of lends to maybe what happens when these two teams usually square off against one another. Um, Ottawa's gone over in 6 of their last 7 games. They've also won 5 of the last 7 meetings here in Montreal between these two teams, having been dominant to a certain extent in the series. But you take a look here, Montreal. They've gone over in 12 of their last 18 games. Montreal's also gone. They've gone over 5 of the last 7 meetings in the series have gone over. So if anything, that kind of shows here. I want to say, I felt like I talk about Montreal playing well against these guys, but they are just 4-11 at home straight up in their last 15 games. Talking about the Habs right now, I know it's been bad, but against Ottawa, I kind of want to take them. We're going to start to see, even though there was some great reporting by you guys in the chat and on Twitter, the Halliburton news is just kind of starting to hit a little bit here. I'm showing Bet Online having taken the game off the board. Now Bovada is going to take it temporarily off. So looks like maybe there's, other than the fact that our great chat has already turned us on to the Halliburton news today, still maybe one more media push here with it, if you know what I mean, that could allow for a little bit more value right now, right this second on the Nuggets, if so interested, and maybe the under as well, if that's the way you think it's going to go. All right, Ottawa, they've lost 14 of their last 20, so I mean, not that much to shake a stick at necessarily with them being a road favorite here at Montreal. I mean, that's what caught my eye. I know Montreal's been looking pretty bad again of late. Losses to Boston, gave up those 9 goals, remember, here. But they beat New Jersey on the road a week ago, and they won at home against Colorado. I'm going to take Montreal, of course. Give me my Habs in this one. And Pearl of Wisdom says, both teams score in the first. Might be his favorite play of the day. Ray says, go over. R. Tom says, give me the Canadians. Jeff Schramm on Montreal doubles is leading to the Sens. Cash action bets on Montreal. All right, go Habs. Go my Habs. I'm on 3 home teams so far. Let's keep it moving with the Golden Knights on the road taking on the Islanders. We had the Knights last night on the ice. We had some winners here on the show. I already mentioned we had the premium pick winners yesterday. Florida on the road against Nashville, San Jose and Kings over 2-0 in our hockey premiums. But on the show, we also were pretty strong. Yesterday, we gave out the Jets and the Bruins game to go under. We also had the Devils here on the show yesterday. Golden Knights taking on the Islanders. Islanders favored at home. I'm showing them up here now. They're even higher of a favorite at this point. I'm showing them up to $1.50 or so, right? $1.50, $1.55 at a lot of places, and that's just up a quarter over the last 3 or 4 hours since I got ready to get prepared for this show. Total 6 over 15. That's a pretty big move on the host Islanders, one that probably should be respected, quite frankly. Might not be getting any value in the Islanders, but you got, looks like Hill and Sorokin in this one. Hill is likely to be the starter for the Golden Knights today, and Sorokin is confirmed as the starter here for the Islanders. Varlamov has been activated, but it'll be Sorokin for the 10th straight game right now. He was awesome, as many of my buddies predicted that Sorokin would have a good outing. in his first start under new head coach Patrick Waugh. He stopped 40 of 42 shots as they beat the Stars 3-2 in overtime. Sorokin certainly has been up and down, no doubt about it. He's given up 3 or more goals in 6 of his last 8 games, going 2-5-1. But we are under Patrick Waugh. I have questions, certainly, and I pose those questions to some of my friends talking about the Islanders. They like the Islanders as their favorite team, and that could Patrick Waugh, who really he kind of fell out of favor in Colorado. Maybe he was riding the coattails of a great roster when he led them to great success in his first 2 seasons when he took over the team that he was a legendary goaltender for, quite frankly. And then the last 2 seasons, it fizzled out. Remember, he was also handling a lot of the personnel responsibilities. Here, that's not going to be the case. I believe he's just more of the man behind the bench right now. So we'll see moving forward for the Islanders. There are, remember, they're the Islanders. There really didn't seem to be much other than, a bad streak right now, certainly that caught the attention of them. And, there are obviously some other problems. I listened to the other Islanders fans. They weren't happy, but they're 20, they do have 20 wins overall. 15 losses, and they go to overtime more than any other team. Vegas is 27, 14-5 coming into this one, and 9-9 on the road. Islanders 12-5, basically at home. So they've enjoyed their home games, certainly, but will it be today? Will today be the day? I don't know. Feels like an under kind of game for me. Let's take a look at some of your comments here on the Golden Knights and the Isles. I'll take a peek at some of the trends for this one as well, but you guys seem to be coming in already with a lot of the information here. We're getting news. I'm just getting more news now. I know you guys already tipped it in the chat about the Miami Heat acquiring Rozier, but I didn't have a chance to, other than, the anticipation that it could be happening. Just starting to see it here on the tweet deck a little bit more, popping up pretty hot right now. Vegas has gone under in 8 of their last 11. They've won 4 of their last 6 games. They've lost 7 straight games on the road right now. The Vegas Golden Knights, they lost at New Jersey 6-5. They were in a long home stand before that. Vegas comes in here to face an Islanders team that's lost 4 of their last 5. The victory, of course, over Dallas by 1 goal, but the long losing streak on the road that ended up in the firing of the coach. They've gone over in 4 of their last 5 at home, have the Islanders. All right. These 2 teams did play their other matchup already. Vegas won at home 5-2. All right. Perlo Wisdom has his comment on this one. Says Islanders first period here. Gives us those first period records. You guys can digest that. And talking about Hill, finally back in there. Look, he's 10-2-2. Maybe this is what Vegas kind of needs to get things, I want to say, rejuvenated. I mean, they're still riding pretty high. Probably, top of the division now, certainly in power ratings too, because the Kings have been so dismal of late. Hill has a 1.92 goals against this season with a couple of shutouts and a 93.5 save percentage. Mike says, look, Hill's back. Maybe it's going to be hard to pass up going with the Knights in this one, especially now with the price going up, right? Doubles says, the price is too high on the puck line, but I'd consider it, he said. Here's R. Tom says, Islanders money line. Perlo says, maybe it's going to be Islanders. Ray goes over here in this one, and I'll grab the under. Not to go against Ray right there on the screen, but that's the way I was headed. I think you guys kind of got the gist that I was headed that way a little bit when you talk about Vegas going under in 8 of their last 11. You've got Patrick Waugh. I'm sure they're going to focus more on some of the things. Yeah, they do need that extra little bit of scoring, it feels like to me. When you got a billion ties like the Islanders do, I would think the goaltending was been all right. Now, Sorokin's numbers aren't that great, but be interested to get Perlo's. He gave some good comments on that. All right, keep it going, keep it going. Capitals and the Wild in this one. You've got the Wild at home at $1.60 and the total 6 under 25. I think that seems like a pretty safe price here at this point. Capitals might be interesting to look at here in some of these road games at this price. Now, I know that Minnesota's won 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these infrequent opponents coming into this one, but Minnesota obviously been struggling so bad right now, having lost 9 of their last 13 games coming into this one, and they're still 11-9 at home, but they've also lost 6 of their last 7 games at home, as they've completely lost anything that they built up earlier in the season. Washington still hanging on at 22-16 for the most part with their record currently. They continue to defy the odds here a little bit, it feels like. Washington comes in just 1-4 their last 5 games on the road. They were having a little bit of road success this season. That's kind of where they'd kind of hung their hat a little bit and made themselves kind of a profitable team on the road here. Washington also is under in 5 of their last 6 games coming into this one. See here if you guys have any comments coming in. I'm probably going to roll with Minnesota here, no matter what the price. Probably about 15 cents too many for me to make a premium pick out of it. Might even 25 cents too much to make a premium out of it. But Washington has a pretty poor reputation, certainly right now by a lot of people. Pearl of Wisdom, Wild in regulation leans to the under. Thank you. That might be it for the pick on this one. I'm thinking I'll take Minnesota. I don't like this price at all, and I certainly don't like the price of 170 hanging on at Bovada, but I'm taking the Wild to win here against the Caps. Maybe the Wild can start to turn it around just a little bit. We've already seen signs that they're doing so, having won 3 of their last 4 games, including wins on the road here against Florida. We had them in the game against Florida and then beating Carolina as well. So, yeah, seems like it, Perlo, and these are the type of spots that we take advantage of. Laying a price here, but hey, we had some underdogs earlier. All right, Blues and Flames in this one with Markstrom. Looks like, looks like these are the goalies here today, if I'm not mistaken. Well, we don't have the confirmation yet. Well, we're headed towards the West Coast game, so might be a couple hours before we get the word here in this one with the Blues and the Flames. Flames are about $1.65. The total 6 over 15, maybe even going up a little bit higher here in this one. St. Louis has won 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. St. Louis, however, has lost 4 of their last 6 games overall. They've gone under in 8 of their last 11 games on the road. Calgary, they're just 11-9 straight up at home this season. They've won 4 of their last 6, but they've gone under in 7 of their last 10 games at home. Last meeting between these two was a Blues win, 3-0. Let's see. Last year, this game here. What did I say? St. Louis owns the series, right? Yes, 5 of the last 6 meetings, St. Louis has won. Okay, and 6 of the last 7 games here in Calgary, St. Louis has won. Okay, so it's a good series for St. Louis. Calgary's lost 2 straight, however, home games to Toronto and to Edmonton as well. They were on a bit of a winning streak before that. Blues are coming off a win against the Caps 3-0. Before that, they had 3 consecutive losses, including a loss to the Caps. It was a home-and-home series. They also lost at home against Philly and at home against Boston. So what do you guys have here, if anything? We're getting down to the end of the show here. Long show. And here's Thompson. R. Tomps wants the Blues money line. Cash action bets on the Blues. All right. Thanks for your plays here in this one. I feel like the spread feels a little bit high, but probably just going to ignore it and look at 2 teams that have been going under big time of late. No doubt these 2 teams have been going under of late. St. Louis, 8 of the last 11 on the road. Calgary, 7 of the last 10 under at home. Give me the under. St. Louis and Calgary tonight. Blue Jackets and Oilers. And this one, could Tarasov be in there? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm going to think it's going to be Elvis. I'm going to put Elvis in there. Who's typing in these graphics early? In fact, maybe it's moved to Picard here, actually. I'm showing the sites right now, reporting 2 different goalies on 2 different sites with nothing yet confirmed. If you guys have anything, let me know. The only thing really confirmed is that the Oilers are about a $3.75 favorite in this one, maybe even $4. Who knows at some spots here at this point, showing mostly 360s across the board, some 370s out there, but the total definitely hanging out at 7 here in this one. And, you got to figure the Oilers could beat up on the Blue Jackets, but man, we've best been so good with that Blue Jackets puck line all season. Seems like they've been covering it, but they haven't actually of late. They've actually failed to cover 3 of the last 4 puck lines here. And Edmonton, hey, come on. We know there's no hotter team right now than the Edmonton Sports. That feels like than the Edmonton Oilers, the way things have been going. So why wouldn't they just crush another opponent here today at minus 350? And again, just to talk about, so minus 375 and then a puck line of minus 1.5, minus 150. We say, who'd lay a puck line at 375, right? You just got to I got to be honest with you. Laying 375 and laying minus a half, minus 150 or so is the exact same thing to a certain. Now, we know one way you win, by 1, you win your 375. Nobody wants to do that. I get it. But if you're not going to lay 375, you're not going to lay 1.5 minus 150, technically. Yes, you could pick one or the other. You're likely to pick 1.5 minus 150, but it's the same. It really is. I mean, I'm not going to argue with anybody or debate. It's not even up for debate. I'm not talking down to anybody. It's the equivalent. Just as it is for whatever minus 2.5 is in this game, which I guess would be probably conservatively even money, maybe plus $1.10. I don't know, but it's technically the same. So just a matter. It's all about risk tolerance, I guess, and risk management. I don't know. Columbus has lost 4 of their last 5 games coming in. They're 4-14 straight up. Their last 18 games on the road. They're also 4-10 straight up when they've played here in Edmonton. That's a pretty long sample size, though. Quite frankly, that's playing them once a year, pretty much. Talk about Edmonton and their great run right now at this point. This incredible 10-game, 11. What is it? What is this winning streak currently? Is it 10, 11, 12? I'm having trouble remembering. It's been so strong. They've gone under in 7 straight games have Edmonton. So it really shows you where they are coming from with their philosophy right now. Doing a great job with unders. They've allowed just 2 goals or less, I believe, in 5 or 6 in a row. They beat Calgary 3-1. They beat Seattle 4-2. Beat Toronto 4-2. Montreal 2-1, and Detroit 3-2. So in non-typical Edmonton fashion. In fact, we had the under in that Calgary game. Edmonton and Calgary, everyone wants to go crazy, 7.5, 8, whatever. But we had the under in that one. Edmonton, they've gone over in 13 of the last 20 games against Columbus. That's basically 10 years worth of games. Edmonton's won 12 of their last 14 games at home. They've also gone 10-14 here against 10-4 here. Oh, I said that one already. All right, let's get your picks. And here's Pearl. He says this is his best bet. The Blue Jackets team total under. And Perlo says they've been. We just said it, didn't we? Yep, and you said it. You said it. Okay. And want to say hello to L. Steve Meister. Hope I got that right. And with some nice comments in there. Appreciate you, L. Steve. Feels like Esteban should be the name. All right. Ray says go under. And maybe I could give my show. It would not go well. My Spanish is pretty bad. I have high school Spanish. That's it. I may be Mexican in my blood. I may be named Ramon. I'm pretty bad at Spanish. I can get around Tijuana clubs and sports books and order some cervezas and maybe some food and other things, but that's about it. Oilers puck line here for our tops. All right. Well, I'm probably going to do it as well. Let me see what else is going on with the Sharps here in this one. See if they've had any interesting moves that I could even trust. Looks like Sharps are on Edmonton by about a 3-1 count. The Sharps are all over the under in this one. I don't trust them at all. I think this is one where it's going to go the other way, quite frankly. I'm going with the over here in this one. Oilers can have a big night in this one and get their scoring up. I do appreciate Perlo here, but I don't know. It could be a big night for the Oilers, it feels like. I'm going to try the over. Sometimes I have gotten burned on some of those weak teams on the road. Okay. And maybe Perlo, maybe that's the one that sent me over the top. Because, again, I mean, how many times can they, it looked like Skinner and now Picard on a couple of the sites. So it does feel like to me maybe we're starting to shift to Picard a little bit. All right. Couple more here. Got to go. Got to get out of here, you guys. Here's the Sabre. I see in the chat Mike's talking double Big Macs, and maybe I got to get to McDonald's by 10:30, if you know what I mean. All right. It's only 8:30 here, 8:45. But all right, here we go. Columbus and Edmonton in this one. Let's get this show on the road here. Oops. Sabres and Ducks. Sabres on the road. Boy, they feel like this is a pretty good position for a road favorite here against the Ducks, man. The Sabres, they seem to be doing their best work on the road. The Ducks don't seem to be doing any work here necessarily, but Sabres on the road with some pretty good numbers, no doubt about it. For Buffalo, they come in pretty big, heavy favorite here actually on the road in this one with Buffalo. Having won 2 of their last 3. This is the start of a road trip for Buffalo. However, they've been at home quite a bit. A little bit of a homestand of late before coming into the West Coast here. Buffalo's won 5 of the last 6 trips into Anaheim. I think that's what kind of has my attention. This is a these two teams only meet a couple of times a year, but uh, feels like a pretty decent spot. Anaheim just 1-5 right now in their last 6 games. Their only win was at Florida. They did come home to play the Rangers, just lost 5-2. Anaheim's gone over in 5 of their last 7. 6 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have gone over the total. Anaheim in a funk at home right now, lost 6 straight. They've lost 17 of 23 home games. Just 15 wins overall. Buffalo has 20 wins, of course. Anaheim 2-7-1 in their last 10 games. So I don't know. I feel like Buffalo even on the road at this price. Maybe what do you guys have here? Sabres under for our Tomps. How about Ray Otachi says, give me the under in this one. Yeah, this one probably well, hey, we only got a few late games. We'll be paying attention to this one for sure. But I think for me, I'm going to end up on the over in this game. Mostly 6.5, right? I'm not going to be able to get it. Oh no, there's 6s all over now. I know I have on the screen there 6.5 under 20. I'll leave it at that. You can grade me at that, but when you head to your book, you're going to find mostly 6 over 15, 6 over 18, 6 over 17, 6 over 20 at a couple of square books here in Las Vegas that I happen to go to because they're close and using the apps mostly, but I'll take the over in the Sabres and the Ducks tonight. Yeah, I know the Ducks do have some issues scoring some goals now and then. Buffalo, you look at some of their totals of late, it hasn't been pretty. They've gone under in 4 straight, but Anaheim went over in each of those last 2 games, giving up 5 goals to the Rangers and 5 goals to a little old team named the San Jose Sharks. Can't be too swift. Give me the over tonight. Rangers and Sharks will be the last game, and Sharks coming off a victory. Come on, how they probably toasted champagne after that one last night, right? With that game. So I would have to think Rangers could be in a spot to come back and beat up on the Ducks, or is this where the Ducks are going to turn it around and get a surprise here in this one? I don't know, but I don't know if the Sharks going to even score if Igor is in there tonight. I'm not saying Igor's all the way crushing it, and I'm showing maybe it's going to be Blackwood in here for the Sharks. We'll see. But maybe starting to show a little bit of a change in goal here. So I'll put Blackwood in there and maybe get your comment, because I kind of wanted to go under in this game. I would like to get confirmation of the goalie. I'm probably still going to just do it here. I don't know if I want to necessarily lay the 1.5 even with the Rangers. It's not a terrible price because of the high spread today. Let me see exactly what it is currently at a 1.5. What are you guys showing? I'm showing 1.5 minus $1.30 or so. I don't really want to do it. I don't want to do it, quite frankly. Let me go ahead and take the under in this one with the Rangers and the Sharks tonight. If you want to cover a few trends, we'll roll a few out, but I want to get on out of here. And Perlo says, that was on the other game, but thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Double says, you know what, Sharks, they got a win over the Kings last night. They can get a home win over the Rangers. They remember that game yesterday against the Kings. Just to mention, it was on the road, so the Sharks were on the road. I know it's just a couple of hour flight up the coast. Certainly, we understand that, but they are certainly on the back-to-back here, and the Rangers are not. Or I'm sorry, the Rangers are not. Did I say that right? All right, just a few numbers, and I'll send you on out of here real quick. Rangers certainly they've won 9 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Rangers are struggling a bit, as we know, having lost 6 of their last 9 games, 5 of their last 6 games on the road. But they have won 5 straight trips here into San Jose over the last 5 years. San Jose just 15 and 18, 15 and 3, 3 and 15 in their last 18 games overall, 1 and 6 in their last 7 at home. And this series has produced 5 unders in the last 6 meetings. Give me the under tonight. All right. That's always me, Thomas, doing the typing. Thank you for being here, Perlo. I'm not even going to say the names today. We're going to get on out of here. I want to thank you all for joining me today here on the Morning Steam, and we'll catch you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern and 6 Pacific. Thanks for sticking with me for 2.5 hours or more. You guys, I really appreciate it. Hopefully the information was all good and you got your money's worth. And remember, if I don't pick on the show, you get your money back. All right. That's the 3 picks on the show. Thanks, PZ, for the song. 1, 2, 3. We'll be cashing out. City City. All right. Thanks, you guys. Catch you more mornings.
Trainers, very important bank rolls are easy to maintain. So get